Stafford. Now they go screen. It's complete. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Stafford now to throw. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
I wonder, Brandon, I just wonder, you think maybe he was worried about where he was on the field? Was he far enough? Was he close enough to the first down sticks?
Absolutely. He was right there by him, and I think he was thinking first down before he caught that football.
Yeah, got to catch it first, because if you don't catch it, there's no chance of picking up a first down.
So they will go for it. Stafford. And this is incomplete. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And the Saints are going to get it back and in great shape. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. Back now at Ford Field. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Second down and 4.
Watch left, watch left, watch left. Stop right there. Hurry up,
They run it again with Kamara. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. The Saints on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 4.
let's go.
Off the play fake. Lloyd. And that is incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
Yeah, and on third down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. And Lutz puts this one through. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So it's 3 more points, and that widens things out even further here in the 4th.
Hey, in this league, you can never have too much. So if you're in range, grab the 3 whenever you can.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Easy. Set. Alert. Set. Waiting.
Operating from the gun. Stafford over the middle, complete to Tate. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down.
And that's one of the few times they've been able to contain him. He's had a heck of a game, and maybe he's getting a little bit tired from how many times he's carried the ball. But I always think back to what all those old coaches say. The ball's not that heavy. Keep carrying it, kid.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And it is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Saints are going to get it back and in great shape. Well, apparently they weren't interested in playing the field position game. They opt to keep their offense out there. A big mistake in hindsight.
Yeah, that one backfired. In hindsight's always 20/20, but let's call it what it was. We would have first guessed that one and said, don't do it here. Bad situation. I think they need to be closer to midfield before I would start to think it was a good idea.
Yeah.
And once you start taking risks like that, you're going to have to keep taking them throughout the game, especially when they don't work.
Yeah, at this stage of the second half, interesting. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. And a movement there coming from the middle of the line.
And you understand he wants to get off the ball quickly, but the ball's right in front of him. He has to watch it move first.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. So they jumped on the left side of that line.
And you know when you're at the end spot, you are like in the starting blocks, waiting for the pistol to fire and go, and he jumped a little bit too early.
So they're operating in the red zone. Following the penalty, it's Kamara. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
4th quarter with the lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule, trying to get 4 downs on 1st down, they did that plus 3.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they got it going today.
And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. And Lutz's kick is good. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. So a good snap, good hold, and that one's right down the middle.
Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, Brandon.
That's fielded in the end zone. And Detroit getting set to go now. And last time, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game. And sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out. Now a handoff here to his running back. Takes this to the 27. Give him 4 yards. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. And he'll give it here to his running back. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a third and about 4 for a first.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Going to give this time to the tailback. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up fourth down.
And there's a nice stop for the defense. They've had a tough time containing this guy all game long, but maybe they can build a little bit off of that play, a little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum. Yeah, every now and then you can actually tackle that guy.
They're already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on fourth down. Now a handoff here to his running back, and he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. The Lions turned away on fourth down, and the Saints are going to get it back and in great shape. And they'll start this drive with very good field position. Now a handoff, running off tackle right. Down to about the 22 here. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeout in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now.
Here we go now. 3-19.
Now a handoff. Here's Kamara. And he'll take this one down near the 15. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
2nd down following the run.
Double tight, guys, double tight. All right, here we go.
A man who's been busy this afternoon. It's Kamara again. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a third and about 4 more for a first. They run from the pistol with Ingram. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. They have gone to the 4th quarter, by the way, in that game in Cleveland. The Browns, they've scored again, extending their lead. And if they could hold on to that lead, it would be win number 4 on the season for them. So out now come the Lions. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Back to the air. Stafford on second down. He's going to let it fly. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
Got to be wary of throwing an interception here because the defense knows they're going to get tested deep. That's why they're going to put a couple of extra guys back there to try and prevent that.
Yeah, late in the fourth quarter here, trying to preserve the lead. They'll fake the give. Now Stafford being chased out left. And he's got some space here. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Now that definitely hurts because the mindset is getting a 3-and-out there, and they don't get it done. They give up the scramble and a pickup for a first down.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And we've got a timeout. 9 seconds remaining. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
To throw on second down at Stanford. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. One last throw here for Stafford. Now a desperation throw deep down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at about the 31. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for New Orleans, their good start continues as they get their record up to 4-2. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for Detroit, the loss knocks them from the ranks of the undefeated as they drop their first game of the season. And they'll get an extra week to think about it as the midseason bye might be coming at just the right time. That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis.
As we go on, like we do, when it's hot outside.